我们先敬礼。
First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus.
敬礼了明和尚。
Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao
敬礼
Ming.
萨迦正空上师。
Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong.
敬礼16世大宝华卡玛巴。
Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa.
敬礼图登达尔吉上师。
And homage to Master Dukden Dorji.
敬礼坛城三宝。
Homage to the three jewels of the altar.
敬礼今天的同修本尊。
And homage to the main deity of the group practice today, the medicine Tathagata of the Eastern Lapis Lazuli realm.
各位上师、教授师。
Sumo, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma assistants, leaders of the spiritual centers, all disciples here and over the internet, and all participating VIPs today.
中华民国密教总会法律顾问。
Attorney, the law advisor to the True Buddha Tantrayana Buddhist Association of Taiwan, the PhD Dr. Lu Wenxiang and his son, producers from CTITV Taiwan, producers for Kenny Gensang Shinton, my sister Rebecca Xiaji, Dr. Ryan Zhong,
台北市议员切梅沙代表。
representative to the council person of Taipei City, Miss Dhamma Sister Che Hui.
天音雅乐合唱团
From the Voices from Heaven Choir Group, Dhamma Sister Lin Yizhan, Dhamma Sister Chen.
阳光舞共团陈妍如师姐。
From the Sunny Line Dance Group, Dhamma Sister Chen Yanru and Dhamma Sister Huang Xianting.
林淑华医师。
And Dr. Lin Su-Hua.
大家晚安，大家好。
Good evening, everybody. How do you do?
你好，大家好。 那今天我们是修药师琉璃光如来。一般的寺庙里面，如果只有3尊佛的话，
In the typical temples, if there are only 3 Buddhas, at the center would be Sakyamuni Buddha.
它的龙边
And on the dragon side, there would be Medicine Buddha. And on the tiger side, there would be Amitabha Tathagata. So typically, the Trinity is like that. If there are 3 deities at the center, there would be Sakyamuni Buddha. On the dragon side would be Medicine Tathagata. And on the tiger side, there would be Amitabha Tathagata. So Medicine Tathagata of the Eastern Lapis Lazuli realm has a very rich and bright radiance, and he also has the Eastern Lapis Lazuli realm. So the East typically belongs to the Akshobha Buddha and Medicine Buddha. They are actually the same body with different names.
一般的说法是这样子，都是在东方世界。
Akshobha Buddha also is referred to as the Medicine Buddha. They are both on the East.
如来已经介绍的非常多了每一次时间都要讲到。
a lot about Medicine Buddha, and every time Grandmaster will mention about going to Korea and seeing a vision of Medicine Buddha, and next to him there would be the great Bodhisattvas like the medicine king,
日光、
supreme
夜光
medicine, sunlight,
，12
moonlight,
药叉神将。
and the 12
12
medicine
药叉神将
generals.
是配属12个月，一年有12个月。
So for the 12 months,
他们也是
there are 12 months in 1 year.
轮夜制的，有这一个月
So they're
是
on
属于哪个
duty
药叉神将？
each month. So like this month would be
他值夜不是值日，也不是
which medicine general would be in charge of which month.
一个月有一尊药叉神将。
So there would be one medicine general per month, and there are a total of 12 medicine generals. So there are supporters to the medicine
其实
Buddha.
很多人都一般来讲，因为阿弥陀佛的名气太大，有西方极乐世界非常有
Amitabha Buddha
名。
is very famous, and the Western paradise is very
所以
famous.
他度的众生很多。
And the radiance of Amitabha Buddha is truly great, so he delivers many sentient beings.
其实是平等啊，
But
跟阿弥
actually,
陀佛是平等，
medicine Buddha is equal to
是
Amitabha
很大
Buddha.
的很大的一尊佛，而且
He's also
如果
a
按照次序
great,
来讲起来的
extremely
话，
great Buddha.
应该药师琉璃光如来的
And
等地比阿弥
according
陀
to the
佛
sequence,
还要高。
that medicine
经
Buddha's
常我们进到寺庙里
spiritual
面，
level
看到
is
了药
higher
师
than
琉璃光
Amitabha
如
Buddha.
来，他有的时候不拿这个
Frequently, when we visit
这
temples,
个甘露
we see medicine
那个甘露
Buddha
瓶，不拿甘露
not
瓶或者是药，
holding a
他
nectar
布施
bowl
这个药。
or
有的时候我们
medicine,
看到在台湾看到的是拿着宝塔，
like some that we see in Taiwan, they are holding a treasure pagoda or
那
stupa
那种形式的药师琉璃
on
光
both
如
of
来，
his
这个
hands.
在别的地方比较少见，
So
在台湾，它的
There
造
is
型，
that kind of
药
image
师
of
琉璃
medicine
光王
Buddha
佛跟阿弥
that's
陀佛的分
rarely
别。
seen
阿弥陀
in,
佛
at
本身
any
是
other
用
place
弥
but in
陀定
Taiwan.
印弥陀定印。
That
那药师
medicine
琉璃
Buddha
光
is
如来
holding
一
the
般是捧着
meditative
这个宝塔
mudra of Amitabha,
这个
and
形
he's
象很
holding
少有，
the
一般
precious
是拿
pagoda.
着这个药符吧。
This kind of look
拿
is
着这个
rarely
药
seen.
符或者甘露
Typically,
甘露瓶，
he holds the
就是佛每一
vase
尊
of
的像
medicine or a
几乎
bowl
都
of
差不多
nectar.
成了佛以后，他的
Actually,
形
the
象都
image
是一样的，
of
32
each Buddha is
32
about the
像。
same. They,
那
once you
80 这
attain
个随行
Buddhahood,
好
you're endowed with
都是形象都差不多，
32
只是他的手印
auspicious marks and
跟他
80
的这个咒语
virtuous
不同而
signs.
已。就是
Only
像
the
都是
mudras
一样
and the mantras are different, but the image is the same.
那我们明天做完莲花童子附魔以后呢，
And
后天
tomorrow,
就到
after
LA
we
去。
perform
那
the
也有人
Padma
反
Kumara
映，
Homa,
他说
the
这
following
个
day we will go to LA.
奇怪啊，这
And someone
为什么一如雷
commented
藏是安排师尊去那个迪士尼乐园？那师
why
尊
did
也
the
不是小孩
Iru
子的，
to Buddha
怎
temple
么
made the
会请他
arrangement
去
for
迪士尼
Grandmaster
乐
to go
园？
to Disneyland? And Grandmaster is not a
这
kid.
是师尊要求的啊，不要误会。
I requested it, so please don't misunderstand.
啊，不要误会一如雷藏寺为什么安排
Don't
师尊去迪士尼
misunderstand the
乐园？
Iru temple
因为我很
that
久没有
they're
去
the
迪士
one
尼乐园。
that arranged Grandmaster to go because Grandmaster hasn't been there for a very long time. I remember the first time I went to Disneyland was in 1980. Before I immigrated to United States. At that time, in 1980, I had been there. One time in Chicago, The Rotary Club, the headquarters is in Chicago. The headquarters in Chicago. So they had a worldwide conference, and all the branches from all over the world went back to Chicago. And I had a fellow disciple called Huang Caozu, and he was a member of the Rotary. He came from Changhua, and he wanted to attend the great conference of the Rotary, the annual conference. And the conference was at the headquarters, and because he was by himself, he asked the teacher Lu. At that time I was called teacher Lu, not called Grandmaster. And he invited the teacher Lu to go to United States for a 1-month trip. And besides attending the Rotary's conference, and he paid for my trip. And his nickname is Suiji. It's Japanese. So Suiji is like the screwdriver in Japanese. So we followed the group to United States. And fortunately, that he brought me to United States in 1980. Huang Caozu or Suiji in Changhua knew a daughter of his neighbor who's also a good friend. And the daughter drove me and Huang Caozu to go to Woodstock. So that's in the upstate New York in Woodstock, and we met the 16th Karmapa, took refuge in him, received the empowerments, and listened to his Dharma teaching. So I had that affinity with the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. That happened in 1980. At that time, in 1980, I was 36. And then when I was 38, in 1982, I came to Seattle on June 16th. But the first time I came to United States, when I landed in America, it was May 18th. It's the day Mount St. Helens erupted. So when my foot stepped on the land of America, Mount St. Helens erupted. So that's the tremor of the 6 elements. So that's very interesting. As soon as I step on America, the volcano erupted. And the first place I stopped was Hawaii. And I saw the scenery there, The first time I went to Hawaii, first time to America, I visited several major cities and I met His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And then in New York, there was an adventure on the road, on the street where there are lots of XXXX. We stroll around there, and there was an American distributing some name cards to us. And I recognized a few words on that card, and it was written, "Tonight you are king." And he invited us to come in to become king. I was still young then, in my 30s, but I didn't dare to go in. But Huang Caozu went in, but I didn't. That was a matter of the past. Talking about His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. I paid homage to him, made some offering to him, and brought some gifts, and he bestowed several empowerments upon me. And I said at that time, if in the future I could propagate Buddha Dharma, then the 16th Karmapa would be the guru seated on my head. Prior to my Dharma teaching, I would always call upon him, because I told him that in the future, if I spread Buddha Dharma, the 16th Karmapa would be the guru I place upon my head. So every time prior to giving Dharma teaching, my gurus are always seated on my head. At that time, I asked him, "So Dharma King, how do you practice every day?" And he said, in the daytime he practiced the green Tara, and at night he practiced the Dharma protector Mahakala. I remember he taught me the special Dharma teaching to several people who took refuge together, but were not our fellow disciples, but other or people from other places. So that was just chatting about my story coming to America. Today I will continue talking about Lamdre, the so-called potential because like a seed, it is a storage that can be relied upon, and the place of the four wheels is like the cause. So our Leizang temple is also like a storage. Lei is thunder, is hidden or stored inside this temple. As long as it makes the sound, and the sound of thunder is the loudest. So we often say that thunder is the loudest. So what sound is the loudest in the world? That would be the sound of thunder. So the meaning of the name of this temple, Li Zhang Si. So the name was given to me, and it means that inside your temple, it stores the sound of thunder. Whenever the sound is made, then it would make a sensation all over the world. So True Buddha School can deliver so many sentient beings because Grandmaster has 4 gurus of the 4 Tibetan schools, and they are all gurus seated on top of Grandmaster's head. And that's also cause or storage. And Grandmaster studied Tantric Buddhism because he has paid homage to the gurus of Tibetan Tantrayana and Japanese Tantrayana. So I have stored this potential or cause. That's why I could bear the fruit. So that's the cause or the potential. It is like a seed. So what it means by this storage is that inside our bodies, we embody the seed of the Tathagata. Every living beings have the seed of the Tathagata. During the era of Sakyamuni Buddha, Devadatta occupied the whole Sangha. That was really bad. Devadatta was one of the 8 princes who took the ordination vow, and he was very closely related to Sakyamuni Buddha on the same generation. But Sakyamuni Buddha was older, and Devadatta wanted to become the leader of the Sangha. So it has the connotation of rebellion. And he said that Sakyamuni Buddha has grown old and he wants to become the leader of the Sangha. Sakyamuni Buddha did not say anything. But however, Sakyamuni Buddha still made the premonition that in the future, when you become a Buddha, you would have the epithet of the Deva Buddha, the heavenly king Buddha. Although Sakyamuni Buddha knew the ambition of Devadatta to be in charge of the whole Sangha, that normally Sakyamuni Buddha's Dharma throne, the lion's seat, cannot be set upon by anybody. However, whenever Sakyamuni Buddha was not around, Devadatta would sit on it, and he would wear Sakyamuni Buddha's robe. So he wears the same thing as Sakyamuni Buddha. He ate and he lived the same way as Sakyamuni Buddha. And he spread rumors to attack Sakyamuni Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha was already old at that time. Although he was a disciple who turned his back against him, but he still confirmed him that in the future he would still become a Buddha. But why did Sakyamuni Buddha do that? Because wasn't he a rebellious disciple, who turned his back against him? My answer would be because he embodied the potential to become Tathagata, the seed. So inside him, all the same, he has the seed of Tathagata. That one day, with the right affinity, it would sprout bear flowers and bear fruit. So all sentient beings are equal. So there's a statement that when you attain perfect awakening or perfect realization, you view all sentient beings as being awakened, as become the perfect realization. There's no exception, including all the animals and beasts. They have the seeds of Tathagata. So this has great meaning. So the seed and the cause for Tathagata exist. When you meet the affinity to start spiritual practice, you can rely on the Buddha Dharma to gradually demonstrate a Buddha's body. So that's why Sakyamuni Buddha wanted to confirm or to make a prophecy about a renegade, a traitor disciple, so that in the future, when he meets the affinity to perform the spiritual cultivation, all the same, he would still be able to attain Buddhahood. Why did Sakyamuni Buddha confirm? Made the premonition. Didn't Sakyamuni Buddha knew? Of course he knew. Devadatta actually took away Sakyamuni Buddha's 2/3 of Sakyamuni Buddha's disciples. So what's left that stayed with Sakyamuni Buddha was only 1/3 of the group. So talking about and then there's a sneeze, and the sneeze is very familiar. It must be, I know who sneezed because the sound is really loud. So it stores the sound of thunder, and the sound of that sneeze was still pretty polite. Otherwise, usually it's very loud. So this potential causal continuum is the root of all paths of samsara and nirvana. That's why it is called the root continuum. It basically includes the introduction of channels, channel seeds, chi light drops. So only in Tantrayana we practice the chi light channels and light drops, and not in Mahayana practices. And why do Tantrayana practices chi channels and light drops, and Mahayana Buddhism don't talk about them? Actually, in meditation, the 3 non-leaking practices was the precepts, meditative stability, and wisdom. So first you need to study the precepts. By abiding to the precepts, you would generate meditative stability, and meditative stability would generate wisdom. So by keeping the precepts, you would generate meditation or meditative stability. And the meditation would generate wisdom. And inside the wisdom, there's also the meditative stability. And this is the 3 non-leaking learnings of Buddhism. In Mahayana, because you have the phenomena of meditation, then the chi would naturally circulate, and the channels would naturally be open and flowing, and the light drops would be radiant. The radiance of the light drops would naturally appear without practicing the chi channels and light drops. But in your meditation, you naturally receive the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And your qi would naturally circulate automatically because there's the electric power. Then the qi would move naturally. Once the qi circulates, all the channels would be open and flowing. Then you would generate the light, the clear light radiance of the light drops. So Tantrayana also talks about meditation. Without meditation, you would not generate the qi channels and light drops. So actually, there's no difference between Mahayana and Tantrayana. But Tantrayana especially stress the qi channels and light drops. It talks about qi. We know there are a lot of Qigong masters in mainland China, like Kung Fu masters. You know, they don't talk about religions, they talk about Qigong. So everybody just practice Qi. And in Taoism, they also practice Qi, in Tantrayana too. Actually, in the whole universe, they're all inside Qi, or mist Qi. Inside our bodies also Qi. Qi is the breath. So in the Dua Messages of Tantrayana, it was mentioned that you need to train the wind. And the wind is actually Qi, your breathing. So in Tantrayana, you do complete breathing. You inhale more and exhale less. So you inhale more and get it to Dantian, the navel chakra. Then that would be called a true breathing. The common people breathe just to the throat or to the lungs. But in Tantrayana, you need to breathe all the way into Dantian. And the central channel, the primary ones, and then the left and right channels. And then you research all the channels and blood. And like Chinese medical doctors, they research all the way, including the skin pores, and there are tens of thousands of channels in our body. And the primary channels at the brow point, throat, heart, chakra, and navel, and the secret chakra, the base chakra, and at the tip of the crown. So that's the 3 channels and 7 chakras. With 5 chakras, brow chakra, heart chakra, brow chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, navel chakra, and secret chakra. Those are the 5 chakras. And the channels at those places are bundled together like woods. So, what is the light drops practices? What is light drops? Light drops is water. In Taoism, it talks about yin, yang, heaven and earth, dragon and tiger, and bird and dog, qian and gong. It actually represents fire and water. Heaven is yang, is fire. The earth is yin, is water. And then there are yin and yang, dragon and tiger. Dragon belongs to fire. Tiger belongs to water. Qian and gong. I don't know whether this is right to say this. Qian gong also belongs to water and fire. So it's the merging of fire and water inside your body. In Tantrayana, fire refers to the inner fire, to your temperature. Water is all the water inside your body, including all the hormones excretion. That's water. We utilize the water of hormones and the inner fire that's generated, and you merge them that to become Tai Chi. When Tai Chi is perfect, then it would generate light. When the light is illuminated, then becomes Wuji. Wuji is light and also the Dharma body. So it also talks about 4 bodies here to practice through your water and fire. First you train the Qi, practice the Qi. The Qi has to be robust and full. The channels has to be open and flowing. And the light drops have to melt. And from the light drops to become the clear light of light drops. Then you would generate light. And then from the light of the light drops to become Vajra chain. From Vajra chain to have the attainments of Vajra screen. And then to have the attainment of the appearance of the Yidam, and then you merge with the Buddhas to have attainment. That's how it is in Tantrayana. So channels, Qi and light drops. And the 4 bodies that are relied upon. And what are the 4 bodies? We only know 3 bodies or 3 kayas, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. And here, it's 4 bodies. And there's a different explanation to that. And how to position the 2 worldly and out-of-worldly paths. So in here, it includes the worldly methods and out-of-worldly methods. They're both embodied in Lamdre. So that's the content of the potential causal continuum. Master Lien Wang. So what is this? The 4 bodies, what does it mean? Which character? It's okay, if you don't know, please sit down. Because it's very difficult to explain these 4 bodies, but in the future I would explain it. This is also talking about body. My family members often, and my teacher often told me, you need to study hard in order to turn around. But in Chinese it sounds like the salted fish turned around. It's a joke on playful of Chinese. Every one of us is a human being, but how can we become a Buddha? That's the turning, because we embody the seed of Buddhahood. That one day when you encounter the affinity to cultivate spiritually and you follow the Buddha Dharma to practice, and eventually your body would emit light and you're no longer a human being. Like if someone scolded you that you're no human being, that's good, because then you're a Buddha. Because you have attained the Buddhahood. That you're a living Bodhisattva. then you're no longer a human being. Then in your attainment, you would be illuminated. So that's the same concept as this turn your life around. So it's like you have attainment. So you have no more physical body, but you're a bright and radiant Buddha. There is a body that's called the equal body, which means your body is the same as Buddha's body. What the Buddha is able to do, you are able to. So your body is the equal body of the Buddha. They are equal. The teacher said, students, please make a sentence with persistence and perseverance. And Shaoli said that we need to persist in our study. In our Buddhist study, we need to persevere. And the teacher said, not bad. Now, Xiaoming, it's your turn. And Xiaoming said, my mom always complains about my dad. And she said, that goes, can't you persist? And the teacher said, get out of here. Because it also means different thing. Oh, so don't leak. So she scolded his dad. Can't you stop from emitting? But in Tantrayana, this kind of training exists. If you succeed or have attainment in your non-leaking practice, then you will not leak. Then you can control yourself. And when you take in a breath and you hold it up, you hold up the anus, then it is closed. Then you can stay without emission. Those 6 postures, 6 Sakya postures are just methods. That the function is relied on the qi. If you can use the qi to hold it, then you will not leak. I often talk about the straw inside the glass of water, and you use your finger to close the straw. And then you pull it up, the water would be inside the straw and will not drop. Why? Because of the qi. Because when you close the top of the straw, the qi will not push down, so the water stays. But if you let go, the qi would push down and the water would leak. So if you close it, then of course you can hold it. Can you do it? Of course. So to close it, you pull in your chin to close your throat, the Adam's apple in the throat area. Then the water will not drop. So you lift up your anus to pull up the lower qi, and then you do not let the upper qi to push down. And then you use the lower qi to pull up, then it would return to its original place. So that's the non-leaking practice. So although it's a joke, it's also Buddha Dharma. Why? Common people don't know how to do the non-leaking practice because they don't train in qi. I've already taught you the methods to lift up the anus and to push in on the Adam's throat. But your chi cannot be held up and still moves down. This is something that Grandmaster can do since he was in the 40s. I want to lose weight and went to see a doctor. And the doctor said, in the morning, you take one boiled egg, and then for lunch, one steam bun, and at night, half a steam bun. Then you would lose weight. And then the patient asked, do I take them before or after meals? And the doctor replied, you can leave now. You still don't understand, even after explaining for so long. Asking you just to eat those in order to lose weight, and you ask, is that before or after meals? So that's why you need to master the methods. In our spiritual cultivation, we want to understand the methods. You don't want to make mistakes. Yes. Moreover, we've talked about it, like Treasure with Energy Yoga, every day, don't do it more than 21 times. Because the Treasure with Energy Yoga is the fierce training, the fierce practice. And the 9-cycle Buddha breathing is rather tender, rather soft. So, and that's for the 9-cycle Buddha breathing, and you can do many times, it's fine, that's milder. But the Treasure with Energy Yoga is rather fierce. So you take in the breath, and then you lift up your anus, and then you hold your breath at the dantian area, and then you need to take another breath, and then let the chi hit the tip of the crown, and then disperse to all over your body before you exhaling it. And then when you exhale it, that would be rather strongly, rather intensely. So it would affect all of your organs. So if you do too much, then you would have swollen gums because you would have heat in your body. And sometimes you would have nosebleed, or red eyes, or some swell in your head, or some headache. So you can't do too much of it. So there's restriction. So the same thing with our diet. There's some requirements, like it has to be nutritious and also lose weight. You can lose weight too. But Master Zheng San Yan, he's not here. Oh, he's there. In the past, your wife called me like a mixed soup, like when we dine together, whatever left over, they're all just put together and eaten up. He would eat all the leftovers. And this is how he eats. His head is really low and he just ate. He just eats like that. So that's why it became 3 rounds. Sounds like his name. It sounded like his name. So round head, round tummy, round buttocks. That's also the terms for geomancy. So at the hospital it was written, you are what you eat. So you become whatever you eat. So you are eating machine. Of course, eating is also psychological, because maybe you try to fulfill something you're missing. So you try to compensate with eating. And it doesn't matter whether it's beautiful or ugly, and you just eat to compensate, then you become 3 rounds. It's very difficult to lose weight. You can discard a lot of things except your own fat. So there's restriction, like the Treasury's energy yoga. You cannot do it more than 21 times a day, otherwise you would get sick. Swollen gums, nosebleed, red eyes, headache, or there would be some problems with your body, because the qi would be chaotic. And this has to be taught by the guru. Someone asked someone from Korea, for anti-wrinkle, and for the girlfriend. And the first time she used it, when she woke up the next morning, she lost the eyelids, the double eyelids. So it was very effective. That's over. So you're trying to eliminate the wrinkles, and you eliminate your own double eyelids. So that's not good. So it has to be suitable and appropriate. So if it's too much over or too much under, are not good. In the past, Linda Chung told a joke. These days when you have the, what's that called, liposuction? Or the skin lift? That they just install a screw. So you just turn the screw and lift up your skin. And one day, the skin, because it felt so hard, and she turned the screw too much, that the breast went up to the face. So that's extreme, that's not good. So you cannot lift your skin too much that the breast went to the face. So there's appropriateness. So practicing the non-leaking, practicing inner fire. When Grandmaster had the attainment in the non-leaking practice, it's like dam, water dam, that block the water. And you use electric wheel to hold the water, so the water will not flow. And the water level would be high. And then when you need the water, you open the dam and to let the water flow out. So that's methods for so that the opening got rusty, because Grandmaster practiced the non-leaking so well. So the water accumulated so much and could not be let out. And what should we do then? You can evaporate it by use of the inner fire to evaporate the water inside the dam to become qi. Then they'll be fine. But if you don't know how to evaporate it, then it would overflow. Then that would be problematic. You would have ailments in your body, and that's an issue, a medical issue. And the Dhamma brother asked the younger brother, so how much of your salary do you save? All of them. Oh, that's really good. Where? And the younger brother said, in my tummy. So the monthly salary is being saved inside the tummy. Because, of course, with no restriction, you don't save. With no control. So according to medical science, you need to store more and spend less. The same with the body. You store more and spend less. And you store your essence, qi, and the spirit in Taoism too. And you spend less, then you would live a long life. If you spend all of them, all the essence, spirit, and qi, and you don't store anything, you don't save anything, of course then you would die early. Then you would die suddenly. Then you would be dead suddenly. But if you essence, qi, and spirit are enough, that the qi inside your body is very full and robust, then you would have spirit. Then qi and sen are interrelated. Then the sen, the spirit, would be illuminated. And the source would be your essence, and that's your essence. That's the light drops inside your body. So when you have full qi, then the spirit would appear. So in Taoism, we practice the Jing, Qi, Sen, the essence, qi, and spirit. And Tantrayana, we practice channels, qi, and light drops. There are some similarities and there are also some differences. A couple went shopping together, and all of a sudden, the wife found the husband disappeared. And she called his cell phone and cried out loud, "Where are you?" And the husband slowly replied, "Do you remember that jewelry shop? You once saw a diamond necklace that you really love, but at that time I didn't have enough money. And at that time I said, one day it would belong to you. Do you remember?" And the wife was really moved and touched and said loudly, "Of course I remember." Good that you remember. It's good that you remember. I'm sitting at the coffee shop next to that store and buying coffee. So you have high expectation. Everybody has a desire. Grandmaster once said, when you're really healthy, you have all kinds of desires. But when you are really sick, you don't think of anything anymore. You only think of one thing. Nothing is important. Health is the most important. It's the same for spiritual cultivators, that health is the most important. And in Tantrayana too, health is the most important. Because by having healthy body, only when you have health that you can practice chi, channels and light drops. In Tantrayana, in Mahayana, they don't stress importance on health. So that's why they say that you are about 30% sick in spiritual cultivation, because you're kind of sick and you despise life. That's why you became ordained. That's not really right, but you take the monastic vow is because of the Buddha Dharma, in order to strive for Buddhahood and to help sentient beings, then this would be a good reason. But there are many causes to monkhood. Some because they were broken-hearted, or they lost their business because they got old, or because they got sick before they took the monastic vow. But when you're young and you think clearly that transcending life and death is the most important thing, and then you take the monastic vow, that would be a true ordination. But typically, that's all fake or false ordination, because they lost their business, or they fail in their romantic love. The girlfriend left with somebody else. They'd rather die than live, then might as well just become a monk. Or the wife left with somebody else, well, might as well become a monk. Or you didn't get the position you wanted and you were always mistreated, well, might as well just left the worldly affairs and became a monk. Those were all not right, but that's also right, because once you entered into the Dharmic door, then you found out that the most important thing is to transcend life and death. The most important thing is to liberate yourself, then to have attainments, to go to the higher realms, to go to the Pure Lands, or to attain Buddhahood yourself. Then that would be most important. I find that attaining Buddhahood is first and foremost, and health is second most important, and the rest are secondary. They are just loaned to you temporarily. The house will get old, the car will eventually die, the jewelries one day would be given to others. All material things, including your bodies, will eventually age, broken, and die. So the most important thing is to transcend life and death. And secondly, is to be healthy. Om Mani Padme Hum.